Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. Many federal government agencies, departments to go in major rejig. Ways out of economic crisis by TUC. Supreme Court gets full complement of 21 justices. FEC approves over ₦1 trillion for Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road. Courts to rule on Kanu's bill application in March. Due process followed in Mambila hydropower project, says contractor. Okay, which story are we starting with?
So I have the dual carriageway. According to the Minister for Works, we have good news. It says that FEC has approved the sum of ₦1.07 trillion naira for the first phase of the construction of the coastal carriageway. So, and this Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway will start from the Lagos-Ahmadu Bello Way along the coastal, Etiomi, along the coastal, both side of the water, all the way to pending. Cross River. Yes, and it's been, yes. But this has been approved. So the first phase of 47.47 kilometers will take off, and it will be a dual carriageway consisting of 5 lanes on each side and a rail line in the middle. Okay. So yes,
lofty, ambitious.
Not just ambitious, but this has been overdue. This has been,
it's been in the plans since forever. We've seen coastal roads.
But now that they've approved, FEC has approved the money. So this, financing was the issue. So they've decided that the federal government should sponsor it. And they said it also has 2 roads that lead up north, going from the Badagry-Sokoto route that leads through the Trans-Sahara route. And also they'll have the Ogoja one that goes to Cameroon as well. So this is just exciting for me. It's of course going to improve and encourage investment across that side. Yes.
Okay, let's take another story.
Yeah, so the Trade Union Congress, TUC, yesterday said it will not be part of a 2-day warning protest by the Nigerian Labour Congress over the mounting hardship and insecurity that's happening nationwide. TUC is the umbrella body of the senior public and private sectors in the country, and they explained that although they were not in support of the demonstration, which is going to be starting today, the president, that's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, needs to act decisively to end the pain triggered by some of the policies that they had taken. And they listed 15 ways that would end the economic hardship in Nigeria. One of the ways is the increased minimum wage and also ending the World Bank dictations on how we're going to be running our economy. I want to take a few of the ways that they had mentioned. So they suggested the determination of the real value of Naira, which is 580 to 650 to $1 at that rate, which will be determined by customs for products used in manufacturing, or giving tax waivers to manufacturers. Then they also mentioned immediate deployment of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and National Financial Intelligence Unit officials to monitor accounts of all the bodies that get FAC allocation directly and probe the dollarization of the party primaries and electioneering. They went ahead to say that they have to end speculative trading in the foreign exchange market, patronage of Nigerian made in Nigerian goods, then strengthening the newly constituted economic management team, proper supervision of activities of the banks by the Central Bank of Nigeria, and a whole lot. So I think people should just get the details. But they went ahead to say that one of the reasons they are not joining the NLC is because the government had already started with the agreement they've had. They've started paying the extra 35,000 naira minimum wage, and they started putting some things in place.
I read through that list.
They would go through,
there's really nothing they're saying that is new. These are things we already know, what to do to review. But it's always good on paper.
The only part of it I found outrageous was that they're saying import food in the minimum 2 weeks, in the interim in 2 weeks, massively to cushion this effect. But I don't think by importing would deal with anything.
It won't be any cheaper.
Let's just go straight and till the land and get the food out of it.
The Oronsoi report is the hottest story and is our hot topic, but just highlighting it in the newspaper review is the fact that 12 years after it was submitted, there's an implementation. The Oronsoi report is famed to help to streamline the agencies, ministry department at agencies, to optimize the government and shed excess weight that, and the Buhari administration in 2021 tried to implement it, but they couldn't. They did some moves, but it finally wasn't implemented. However, the president, according to according to the papers, the president, in a bold move, which is the administration's template, has decided to implement this, scrapping many agencies, merging more agencies, and we'll give more details during Hot Topics later today. Okay,
let's move on now to the Punch. 12 years after Tinubu adopts unnecessary reports, merges agencies, police deploy anti-riot squad as NLC holds protest today. Ogun, Kogi, Taraba governors felicitate Punch at 50. CBN sells over $300 million to banks as Naira gains. Customs suspends rice sale after 7 die in stampede. And SANS least expectations as Supreme Court justice rise to 21. Okay, which story?
We could start with the Nigerian police force. They said they've deployed anti-riot operatives in strategic locations ahead of today's nationwide protest, which was declared by the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, over the economic crunch in the country. So the force spokesman, Olumuyiwa Adejobi, said that policemen have been placed on red alert. And, they said that they are going to carry out, they are warning the protesters and also people who are trying to hijack the protest not to even try it at all. And we know that the Trade Union Congress, that's the TUC, had said they were not joining this protest alongside 65 other civil society groups. But, some persons have said that the protest is in line with human rights. And the only thing the police needs to do is to support the protest, to protect the protesters from the people who are likely going to be hijacking it. But to say that the protest shouldn't go on, that is not expected. So let's see how that pans out today and how the police is assisting to support.
So the CBN has said that in the last 3 weeks, they've ingested $300 million into the banks just to save the Naira. So according to the Association of Corporate Treasurers of Nigeria, they made the disclosure in the advisory memo made available to the newspapers. So we are sure you must have seen all the activities ongoing with the foreign exchange market. If you're not aware, CBN last week sold about $200 million to the banks below 1,500. That's about 1,450 to the dollar. Similarly, also CBN has 2 consecutive days sold forex to banks at rates under 1,450. So hopefully that should continually strengthen. For many of us yesterday got the news that Naira strengthened a bit, came down to about 1,500 to the dollar. So we're hoping that more ingesting would help to help the Naira going forward.
Should I take the customs story?
Let's see how much minutes we have. Okay, go ahead, please.
Okay, so the Chief Superintendent of Customs and National Public Relations Officer for the Comptroller General of Customs, Abdullahi Maiwada, has announced the suspension of the sale of rice that they're doing following what happened on Monday. And the details just goes on to confirm that a pregnant woman, 6 others died due to this stampede. And they didn't disclose when the suspension will be lifted, but as it is now.
I took the story yesterday. Really, really sad. Let's go on a short break now. When we come back, we continue with our reviews. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.